4/5 of pixies in the kingdom had same faces. Okay. If 480 pixies had sad faces, how many pixies lived in the kingdom? They're really, having you think here. What do you think? How would you do this? 4/5?
4/5 times 840.
840? Okay. Had sad faces, right? If there were 840 pixies, how many? Okay. That had, okay, not quite. You're multiplying.
Or 4/5 times x equals 840.
Okay, that's more like it. Do you understand why? Because it's telling you that it's 4/5 had sad faces. They made this problem up, and I can tell it's yeah. 840 had sad faces already. You're not, they were giving you specific number for the sad faces, right? And they're telling you that's 4/5 of something bigger, right? That means what you said the second time, it's more correct. It's right. Okay, that looks good. So let's do it. Let's set it up. But I want to see what it looks like, so you get the sense of what the answer is, right? Okay, so you said 4/5 of times something of x. Is that okay if I say it that way? Times something, same thing as of x, variable x now is 840. Okay, solve. How do we solve? 4/5, not 4/8. Solve. How do we do it? I know you know it.
Multiply by the reciprocal.
Yes, so let's do that. Times 5/4. Cancel. We can cross cancel here, right? 8. It's perfect. They made it for that you can divide into it evenly. Each digit. 2, 4, 1, and 0. Is that right? Yeah. And then times it by 5. 2 times 5 is 1,000. 10 times 5 is 50. So 150. 1050. Is that okay?
Mm.
Now, is that the answer? So because how many pixels lived in the kingdom? Do you think that's the answer, okay?
Mm.
Yeah, because if you actually test it, for example, 4/5 times, this is what you were thinking earlier, 1050, it'll give you 840. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Mm.
So this is like making sense of the problem, right? Making sense of what you're doing. So it's good. All right, number 2. When the siren sounded, 440 were seen walking in the forest. Okay. If the other 360 were not seen, what fraction of the total was seen? Similar situation here. What do you think? How would you do this? A little trickier though. Let me see. If there, when the siren sounded, 440 were seen walking in the forest. 440, what exactly? Some kind of creature? If the other 360 were seen, okay, what do you think? What fraction of the total was seen? This is actually quite fancy, but I want to see what you think. This is number 1. Number 2. What do you think? It's a fraction that you're trying to set up, right? It says what fraction of the total was seen. What do you think the total is first? Maybe, right? Maybe that's the way you want to go first.
You add 440 and 360.
Yeah, so that's the denominator. Look, I'm writing something that you want to learn to do. Your teacher will be fine with it. Okay, you don't have to like write on the side and put it in the denominator. But since this is a fraction, just set it up. It looks, the way they call this is called complex fraction, right? This is a complex fraction. You got things going on in the numerator, got things going on in the denominator. It's fine. Yeah. And then when you move on, you'll get, the form of the fraction that you're used to seeing. Okay. But then what do you do in the numerator?
X.
Are you sure? What fraction of the total, okay, you got the total, was seen? Yeah, this part right here was seen. So you don't have to actually, okay, I think your teacher wants to set up as an equation. Is that what you're saying? Okay, well, we can do that, but it's not necessary because however you do it, here, I'll say this, it's not going to be x in the numerator. The answer that you're setting up will be the equation. Because you can't set up to solve. I don't think you should. It's it's not sensible here. It's not something you want to do because this is more straightforward than it is. It's straightforward like the way you were doing before you were, setting up equations with word problems. So what do you think was seen? Don't worry about the equation just yet. Let's just try to get the answer first, and then we'll manipulate to make an equation out of it. I kind of did already, by the way.
440.
Yep, that's it. So if you try to make an equation out of it, how would you do it, right? That's why you can just go ahead and, equals x. You can do equals x. Anytime you actually think it's straightforward, do that first because that's the sensible thing that you can do and you know it. Yeah, and then you can kind of like, let me try and see if I can make an equation out of it. But this case, this has to be written exactly first. Well, don't have to, but it's what many of you guys would do anyways. Then, okay, here's my equation, equals 0, and equals x. Then you're done. All right, let's combine like terms. The denominator, what is that? That's 800, right? Wow, okay. 440 equals x. Divide the top and the bottom by 10. Or just take out the 0 in the back here if you want to shortcut it. Be careful when you do this. Teacher will think, hey, you can't cross cancel the digit, dude. You can't do that. But think divide the top and the bottom by 10. So you're left with 444 divided by 80. The biggest number can go into 44 and 80. Maybe 4. We'll try 4. 4 can go into 44 11 times. 4 can go into 80 20 times. So there you go. It's completely reduced. Simplified. Is that okay? Does that make sense? Is that okay for number 2? Yeah. Let's see if I can erase this part here. Nope, I can't erase this. Yes, I can. Nope, I can. Nope, I can. I'm trying to erase the bottom portion here. Give me a second here. This one. I think I can. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Number 3. Hey, that was pretty good. I know you know it, but I think you were, you know how you want the x in the numerator because you were attempting to make an equation out of it, right? Like you want to solve for it. But you can see why. It's not asking for like the scene, right? The scene will be the x in the numerator, right? Like, but it says what fraction. You see that part right there? What fraction? So that means this is the answer, the form of the answer. But then, of course, what's seen. So we're being very technical here, right? But I know you understood everything. That's a good thing there. All right, number 3. The cutters cut out 400 jigsaw puzzles in 8 hours, okay? They got tired and could only cut 1/5 as fast as before. Okay. At the slower rate, how many jigsaw puzzles could they cut out in the next 160 hours? Okay, look at this. Dude, you're it's really getting, like crazy, right, in the setup. But I'm sure you can do it. What do you think? There's a rate going on for the first statement, right? And then there is a fraction going on in the second, which is not the rate, just the fraction. And then the third, the last part of the question, now it's asking at the slower rate. Slower rate, what does that mean? Yeah, how many jigsaw puzzle could they cut in the next 160 hours? What do you think?
You do 400 jigsaw puzzles over 8 hours, and you reduce it.
Yes, let's do that first. Let's don't think beyond that. But let's put the units in. Yeah, you got this, dude. Because if you want to keep track of what you're doing, and look at the units at the same time. Yeah, let's reduce the rate. So this is the rate at first. I mean, we can make this more, like elaborate, like one setup, but no, let's just break it down bit by bit. Okay, let's see, what is this? 8 can go into 400. What is that? 50 times itself one time. Therefore, you're left with 50. Now, I'll still keep it as a fraction, and, we can probably use it, right? We're going to need to use it over 1 hour. See that? Yeah, this is how you should be doing it, and it's also taught in chemistry because it's huge with the rate and the units and all that. It's physics too. I'm sorry. You need to carry it through, and this help you make sense of everything. In math, sometimes they actually neglect this part, and that's bad. Not all the time. Yeah. So just be aware. Okay, now what do you do with that? So it's 50 jigsaw per hour. Puzzle. Sorry. Jigsaw puzzle per hour. What do you do now?
You do 50 over 50 jigsaw puzzles over 1 hour times times 600 hours over 1.
Not quite. The second part, right? The second statement, they got tired and could only cut 1/5 as fast as before. Yeah, this is actually not confusing, however. It's just like something the student may not pick up on. If you read carefully, right? Okay, you got the rate waiting, but the second statement says this, right? This part right here. 1/5, I'll cut it really short, as fast as before. 1/5 as fast as before. The fast, that fast part, this could be written differently, by the way. It's the rate. The word fast imply the rate. The rate, guess what? This is the rate, the speed. So you're going to times it by 1/5. Is that okay? Yeah, this thing, yeah, you guys, this one, number 3, is actually maybe the most confusing one of all we have ever done. But the math is pretty straightforward. They made the numbers really nice, by the way. But number 3 may be the most messiest because of the wording. 1/5 as fast as before. 1/5 mean, like the fraction of what? Of what exactly? Normally you have a fraction, you're going to times it as fast. So that fast implied the rate that you've got here. So you got to times this, and then we'll see what happens. So let's continue. Yeah, so I know. Let's do 1/5 or 50 times it if you want. 1/5. I will do it the way it's worded. 1/5 times. I'll put a dot this time so you don't get the variable x. Jigsaw puzzle, but I'll write jigsaw. I know I should have write the word puzzle, but jigsaw is more specific. So you cross cancel. 5 can go into 10. 50 10 times, and itself 1 time. Therefore, you're left with 10 jigsaw puzzle over 1 hour. So that's a fifth of the speed you got before. Now we can use this to move on. Now we can times it. Is that okay? The 160 that you wanted to do. How many jigsaw puzzle can they cut out in the next? Because if you noticed, it makes perfect sense. Now, I know we're dissecting this because of the way it's worded. 1/5 means that it's slowed down, right? A fifth of a speed is like slower speed, right? Is that okay? A fifth. So this answer that, well, so far I'm saying this rate that you've got is the slower rate. The slower rate. At the slower rate, now we're moving on. At the slower rate, how many jigsaw puzzle could they cut in the next 160 hours? Now you can times it at the slower rate. You get it? This is like really, really messy, but I think you got it. Now you can take that. I know you don't normally want to continue with that. I should have actually, okay, this is what you should have done. I mean, it's not going to be a big deal right now. I don't think your teacher will care right now. As long as you get the answer or the work that you need to show. So here it is. But then you take that. You normally don't want to continue like right here. It's bad in algebra or whatever. Your teacher won't like that because the problem doesn't mean that, hey, you reduced it and then it's also equals to the times of 160, right? That's not true. You're supposed to extract the work that you got and then continue with it. So let me say something about this. Your teachers say, hey, do an equation. No. This one, you just go ahead and put x. After you get the answer, put the x equals to x again. Because if you're trying to make an equation out of it, it may be bad because you're now no longer following the wordings, right? You no longer follow the order of the wordings. The learning reason here is that you want to follow the order of the wordings precisely for learning purposes. If you're trying to make an equation out of it, which we are going to do after we get the answer. Let me do that right now. We'll set it equal to x, or like this. You want to be smart, like clever, smart ass. I guess you let x equals. Let me see what is the object. The number of pixel at the slower rate, something like that. You see, look, let x is equals to the number of puzzle. Oh my god. The word from the last problem, dude. Puzzle or jigsaw puzzle, jig puzzle. The number of jigs puzzle at the slower rate. At slower rate. This is how you can do it. It's it's valid, by the way, dude. If you ever get confused at how you can make up an equation, you shouldn't make up an equation at this one. I don't think your teacher will mandatory make you do it on every single problem when it's actually confusing. Think about it, okay? All right, continue on here. 160 hours. Look at this. And the hours also cancel out. And you get the actual unit that you're looking for. The number of jigsaw puzzle. You see that? I hope you're okay with that. Mm-hmm. It works perfectly. Everything works perfectly. So what is that? 160 times 10. That's going to be 1,600. Jigsaw puzzle. You get exactly what you're looking for. Perfect puzzle. Now I can put the word puzzle in there. So this is how you would do it. And then you can say equals to x. I don't know. I'll put x over here. Look at this. X equals. Look at this. This is now you finalize it. I'll put the x way in the front. You can put it in the back if you want, like back here. There's your equation if you see you want the equation. But for you to set up the equation in the beginning to solve, I don't recommend it. I have an idea how you can do that. Pretty good idea, but I wouldn't recommend it. You'll get really confused, even more confused than what we've done here. So this is perfect like order to do the problem. This is the messiest we've done. I like it for a learning reason. I think you get smarter, I guess. Like if you think about it, okay, you get really technical. You get like break down the wordings. It's not fun though, but you're actually like militantly, I don't know the word, trained to be precise, right? Like you break it all down. Right? 4. I hope you're okay with that. I think you understand that, right? Just fine, right, Manny? But it's great. I love the problem, dude. I think it's the right way to do it. The right answer. I'm pretty sure. All right, the platoon advanced 5 kilometers in another rate, 1.5 hours. During the rain, they advanced 4 kilometers in 2 hours. Okay. How much did the platoon rate decreased? Okay. Now it's it's something else. It's not even, yeah, you get very variety of different problems here at the same time. But I'm sure your teacher went over this before he assigned the problems, right? I'm pretty sure. But it's, yeah, I don't know. I'm looking at this like, yeah, you got a bunch of different variety of setups to solve. Okay, what do you think? You got one rate and you got another rate, right? One is five kilometers for, in 1.5 hours, and then you got another one 4 kilometers in 2 hours. What is the rate? How do you do the rate decreased? What do you think? Yeah, this is fancy stuff, dude. I I would actually let me think here. I would actually reduce it first or simplify the rate either in decimal or in fraction. What do you mean? Like the first rate, I would divide 5 in the calculator, whatever. 5 divided by 1.5, and I get my km over 1. You imagine that, right? If I see the decimal to go like messy, like 4 or 5 decimal, I will probably do it in a fraction form. But we'll see. What about the second one? 4? Yeah, this one works. It's like 2 can go into 4 perfectly. But anyway, that being said, how would you still do it? Because the question is not about you're actually, just simplifying the rate. It's about how do you find the rate decreased? That's a fancy stuff. Yeah, I'm curious how you would do it. You wanna try that? You wanna do simplify the rate? Let me punch in first. For example, 5 divided by 1.5 in a calculator. Yes, you see what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to actually use the decimal form. You might think round the answer. No, don't do that yet. In chemistry, maybe to 4 decimal places. In physics, maybe in 4 decimal places. Did I do this right? Let me double check. So I mean, we're going to actually do the fraction form. 5. Got 2 screen I can look at. Yeah. So no, we're not going to do that. We're going to actually do this. Let's do it. Let's do the fraction form. Let me show you. So I'm going to do 1.5. Okay, I'm not going to write the mixed number form. I'm going to write 3 halves. I'm going to make an improper fraction out of it. 2 times 1 plus 1. 3 halves hours. Is this okay for now? The main division is here. Versus, I'll do the other one. Versus 4. I'll put it over here. We're going to simplify each one. 4 km divided by 2 hours. So we got 2 rates. Well, let's simplify this first. 5 over 1 times flip-flop. You remember this? You okay with that? Showing all the work. Ignore the units for now. You wanna clean up the fraction. So we got 10/3. Now we can put the unit back. Your teacher will be fine. You can put a unit here. In chemistry, you got to put the unit every single step. In physics, you got to put the unit in every single step. I'll put it up here. And then here's the simplified form. And then this one is going to be 4 divided by 2, which is, 2 can go into 4 2 times instead of 1 time. So I'll do that because it's a rate. So you can see the 1 also, because you want to keep the 1. The unit also, the 1 and the unit. So we've got 2 of them here. Now, what do you think you should do next? The unit are the same, dude. They're like terms. Oh yeah, how's that? I think you're okay with the similar term, like terms in algebra, right? 5x minus 2x, that's 3x. 4y plus 3y, that's 7y. That's like terms. Is that okay? Remember, like this unit are like terms. The units are the same. Kilometer per hour, kilometer per hour. What do you think? So the question is, by how much did the platoon's rate decreased? What do you think?
You do 2/1 divided by 10/3, and then you multiply it because you flip the other fraction.
Well, if you do all that, right, if you flip-flop, what happens to the unit? What happens to the units? Like, yeah.
You cancel them out.
Okay, now you got to think carefully on this one. I think that's that thing that you just said is kind of fancy, but it's not. You don't have to, because it's after I did all this, I realized that it's easier than what I thought at first. By how much did the platoon's rates decreased? If you actually cancel out the units, right, you no longer have the rates as the answer. If you read carefully grammatically, the answer is still, the unit of the answer is still the same. The rate is still the same unit. I don't know if you're okay with that. Maybe I'm not saying that correctly. By how much did the platoon's rate decreased? That means the answer is still going to have kilometers per hour as the answer. Is that okay? So if you cross cancel out the units, yeah, we're really dissecting everything. This is perfect for science like chemistry and physics. If you get this right, you've gotten it. Even the hard one, like number 3, you're good, dude. Don't worry. But number 4 is, no one's perfect. You just because you can't do 4 doesn't mean you cannot do physics and chemistry. But if this is a training ground for like the heavier math later on when it comes to science. I think you can imagine units and all that, right? So this answer is as simple as subtracting the 2 units. You don't want to cancel them out. So you got to pick the big one. You got to pick a bigger one, subtract the smaller one. So basically, which is the bigger unit? Just subtract them, dude. By how much did the platoon's rate decrease? The rate's still going to stay the same if you read it carefully, right? So if you just say the answer is, let's say fraction, right? And no units. Watch, if I say that and let's say that would that answer the question? For example, by how much? Watch, by how much did the platoon's rate decrease? Well, it by 2/3. By how much? 2/3. By how much did the platoon's rate decrease by 2/3? Actually, that sounds okay, but no. Your answer you're gonna have by 2/3. Oh no, yeah, okay, by 2/3. No, that's not enough. By 2/3. What do you mean 2/3? 2/3 what? 2/3 kilometers per hour. By that much. By that much. Right? There you go. There you go. So you need the kilometer per hour to stay with the number. You have to have it. So if you take them out, it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, that I'm right here. I think you can see now, right? By how much the rate? Yeah, you can't just say 2/3. You have to say 2/3 kilometer per hour, or two kilometer every 3 hours, something like that, right? So anyway, you got to subtract them. Okay, I know. Don't worry. Just go with it, right, for now, and then later on you'll see more of it, and you'll get like, okay, it will make sense. Yeah, this is how you do it. But tell me, which one is the big one then? How do you know? You got to subtract. Well, actually, it's implied in the wordings, right, in the story. What do you think?
10/3 minus 2/1.
10/3 minus 2. How do you know?
Because it says that they were already going 10/3, and then they slowed down to 2/1.
Yep. So we can do 10/3 minus 2/1. Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it on the side here. I recommend you keep the unit to really reinforce it that you understand that's what you're asking to do. Now, if you want to be fancy, look, let's do it a little fancier. Slash, we'll do the unit sideways like this. So you don't have to actually I know it looks weird, right? So let's write as like 1 unit, like 5 ounces, 10 ounces, right? Let's make them. This literally can actually look like that. Here we go. Let's do the math. I need space here. So I don't know. You can do it on the side. Maybe we should have actually not, write it with the unit when you do the math. Just common denominator is 3 times 3 times 3. You remember this? So it's going to be 10 minus 6 over 3. That's going to be 4 over 3. But I'll actually write it as a mixed number. It looks, you don't want to say 4/3 kilometers for hours. It makes no sense. Let's do 1 and 1/3. Now we can put the unit back, kilometers per hour. Is that okay? There you go.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is the right answer. Double check the math. I'm pretty sure the way you do it, it's correct. Like for sure. But double check the math. I'm sure we did good. All right, dude. That was a few. Yeah, it was quite a bit of work here. All right, let's move on. 5. Okay, I think you're okay with 5.
Mm.
All right, what about 6? Johnny galloped with glee. Yeah, you can tell. These are all made up for 2 hours and covered 6 whole miles. Okay, at this rate, how far? Yeah, we have to do this one. How far could he gallop with glee in 9 hours? Okay, what do you think about this one?
If it was 6 miles in 2 hours, you can reduce that to 3 miles in 1 hour.
Okay.
So that means he was going 3 miles an hour. So you do 3 miles over 1 hour times 9 hours.
Okay, that sounds perfect, dude. So you got, oops, you got 2 hours for 6 miles. And you got, at this rate, how far could he gallop in 9 hours? Yeah, your time by 9, right? Now,
Yeah.
yeah, you could reduce it, but I would set it up. This doesn't really matter. In the end, you're gonna reduce cross cancel anyway. So 9 hours like this. Wait, okay. You mean you want me to
It's
flip it
6
first?
miles over 2.
Yes,
Yeah.
good job. Yes. So they worded it so for you to, manipulate the problem, right? Good job, dude. You got this. You got this down. Yeah. I'll let you do the rest. The units will cancel. You can reduce it here. Like 2 can go into 6 3 times 7 1 time in the problem, and then just use it times it by 9. That's it. All right. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Nice. Okay. 7. I think you're okay with this. What decimal part? Okay, could you tell me the equation your teacher wants you to set up for 7?
So it's x times 360 equals 300.
Yes.
And then you divide both sides by 360, but you don't divide, you keep it over, then you have 300 over 360, and then you reduce.
Okay. So if you divide both sides by 360, everything sounds good. You're gonna get, what is that? I know I'm making.
506.
Wait. 3. Did you say 5/6?
Yeah. Because if you cross out the n zeros, it's 30 over 36, and
Mm-hmm.
6 goes into 35
5.
times, and
Okay.
36
What
is.
do you do from there?
and then
Exact
you
sequence.
divide it into
Into 5, right? Like
you
6.
do 5
Long
divided by
division.
6.
Because you need the decimal form, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying full attention to what you were saying. So yeah, this is what you do last. Okay, I think you're good. Fraction of, no, it looks the same here. Okay, yeah, this number 8. What is the answer for number 8?
5/6.
Right? Yeah. Oh, nice, isn't it? Just I don't think you have to redo it. Just go ahead and write 5/6 as the answer, because you can say, oh, from number 7 in the parenthesis. Right, let me see, 2/3, 2 and 1/3 of this is what number? 9. Just tell me how to do that.
So you have 2 and 1/3 times 3 and 1/4 equals x, and then you make those improper. So it'll be 7/3 times 13/4
Yes.
equals x, and
Yeah.
then
Okay.
yeah.
You got it. So it's a multiplication. Is it okay? Between the two fractions. Okay. 10. You have the illustration. No, that's not it. The radius of a circle is 3 inches. What is the circumference? I recommend you draw it, and I think you know how to go from there for sure. My number 10 is here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's number 10 here. You don't have to. Actually, you don't have to draw it. You don't have to draw it. You want to see the visual, you can. Okay, what is the circumference? How would you do the circumference for A?
3.14 times 6.
Just like that. Circumference, what formula would you use here?
Pi times diameter, or diameter times pi.
Okay, so, or you mean like this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. You could go ahead and double that to make a diameter out of it, right? Times 6. You wanted, yeah, I think you said 3.14 times 6. Is that right?
Mm.
Yeah. And the unit, make sure you write the unit in inches, right? Okay, what about area? B.
It's radius times pi squared, or pi times radius squared.
Yes. So 3.14 times 3 squared, which is 9. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the unit again? What is the unit?
Inches. For the A, it's inches, and for B, it's inches squared.
Yes. Okay. So let's look at 11. Okay. What do you think about 11? Perimeter. I would do a 12 here, in the picture.
So you do 20 times 12 to find the oh no, for A you add
24 plus 20 plus
mm,
the arc, the bottom arc, right? What is that? So this plus that plus that plus that. Ignore the dashed line, right? So what do you think? How do you find this, right? I think that's what you're pondering over. That's my arc. So what do you think? So it's half a circle, right? Can you tell? So that means you'll do 1/2 times the circumference. Is that okay? What is the circumference of this whole circle? Pretend it's like extended all the way around like that.
31.4.
But tell me the math. Tell me how to do the math.
3.14 times 10? Or
Mm,
3.4 times 20?
yes, 3.4. Yes, that's the way you do it. So you do times. Okay, look at this time. You have a decimal, so we're going to do parentheses. And you can exit inside there. But make sure it's not a variable. Since we add, there's no variable here. You're fine. 20. Is that okay? That's it.
Yeah.
You're using this, but half of it right here. 3.144 pi, and the diameter is going to be 20 because that 10 is only the radius. So I know you know this, but yeah, just be neat about it. You can write everything I've written here, okay? Whatever you get here, you can use the calculator to help you out. If I were you, I can cross cancel here. Look at this. I think you're okay, right? That would be 10 right there. Who said that you want to do 3.14 times 20? You can do 20 times 3.14, but you have to cross cancel a pair at a time. Like this whole thing is over 1. Sorry, like over 1. I hope you're okay with that. And the unit's going to be, what is it? Decameter. So you can do DM, or if you word, just DKM or DM. Or you can write the whole word, decameter. Put S in there because it's going to be more than 1. Okay, and the area. This is the perimeter. Area is going to be 12 times 20 plus, right? That's, you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the rectangle up on top. 1/2 times what?
Times 31.4.
Let's break it down. Let's write out. You have to
Oh,
use the formula, right?
for the area, times 10. Times 10. Or, wait.
No, we have more, right? We have more to write, to use. So we're doing this bottom portion here. Right? The area, we got this area here. Now we're trying to get the area in the bottom here. So it's a circle,
3.4
but
times 10?
okay, the area of the whole circle, it's pi r squared, right? 3.14 times 6 squared, right? So that means you already have the half. You already cut in half. So 1/2 times 3.14 times the radius squared. Is that okay? Yeah. Hope you can, yeah, that's your 100. I recommend you rewrite it as 100 here, but you can slash through and write 100, and then 2 can go into 150 times, and then multiply by 3.14, and then add it to that. Is that okay? You can do any way you want. You can do any way you want, but that's pretty easy if you think about it. I'll leave it like this, and do the order that you want. I recommend you continue with cross canceling. 2 can go into 150 times. And then you can do 50 times 3.14 for that portion. And then add it to the product of 12. Is that okay? So that's going to be 240 here plus 3.14 times 50. And the unit's going to be decameter squared, dm squared. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it. Number 12, I believe you're good. Right? You're okay. Let me see, double check what you're asked to do here. What is the volume? Yeah, that's it. So you're gonna find this times that, right? The face, the base times the height. The base, yeah, they talk that way. Okay, I know you may not. I don't know. I think by now you may be okay. That's the base, or the top here if you want. It's the same thing as the base. So the base times the height is the volume. The base is generic, right? B equals generic base times the height of the solid. base times the height of the solid. The height of the solid is what again? Let me see, 20. So label 20 here, tall. But then I assume you're going to be breaking this down into triangles and rectangles, right? I think that's what most people do. So, but careful though. This from here to here, what is that?
You have to do 34 minus 16 to find the base.
Okay, so that's
And then
34 minus 16. That's right. What is that? Let me see. Yes, 34 minus 16 for here, right there.
yeah,
And what about the height?
is 20. But then 20 minus 6.
Yeah, so
So
it's
it's 14.
14. Okay, good. I think you got this. And then you do the area 6 times 34. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get that and you get this. 1/2 times, okay, for the triangle is 1/2 times, for the top triangle, what is that? 28? Is that right?
Yeah.
No, 18. Right? 18?
Mm-hmm.
Times the height, which is 14. Is that okay? So that's the triangle. Yeah, the right triangle here. And you add it to the rectangle. That drawing here. Then you add it to the rectangle here. So which is going to be 34 times 6. Okay, I think you continue from here. You're good. I think you're good. Okay, for the last, I think everything else you're going to be able to do, but let's do the last one here. Number 14. Wait, let me do on this side too. Is that, wait, let me look over here. I think you're going to be okay with this side on this page. Right? More practice. I don't see anything. You got to convert this decimal into this this percent into decimal. And then multiply it. Is that okay? Then multiply.
Yeah.
Okay, you know this 1.2. If you convert 1.2 is equals to 120% times. Put a parenthesis because these are decimal numbers. See, whatever that is, times 40.3. Okay, now this concept is, I think you guys already covered this, but tell me how to set up number 14. Last one. You got to do X and Y.
So it's 10 over 14
Okay, looks good.
equals
So far, yeah, 10 over 14 equals what?
10 over y.
10 over 14. Not quite. 10 over 14, it's perfect. This is your pivot fraction. You need to use this one twice. You can't use it. Yeah, you have to use this one twice. This side and this side are similar side or corresponding side. Yeah, or similar side. So you need to actually use this twice. One for X and one for Y, or one for, it doesn't matter which one first. What is it? How we set up the second fraction? Do you want to solve for X first or do you want to solve for Y first? I'll help you.
I'll do y.
Okay, if you do Y
Is
first,
so
go ahead, tell me.
5 over y?
That's right. Is that okay? Now
Yeah.
that's it. And I think you're okay solving, cross multiplied, right? 10y equals 5 times 14 and go from there. Now, the reason you have to make sure you do is you went from the small to big. That means this is called proportion. The first ratio must correspond to the second ratio. Corresponding means that if you go from the smaller side to the larger side, smaller side to larger, like small is in the numerator, larger side's in the denominator. You better actually make it like the same for the second fraction. And you did. You went with the 5 over y. Is that okay? Now, that is the x. This one is solving for y. Now, how do you solve for x? Now, you could also reduce this first if you want, okay? Before you cross multiply. Is that okay? I would probably do that. I would actually, before I solve this whole equation, I would do a 5 over 7 equals 5 over y. The answer is 7, dude. Do you see that? Do you see it by looking at this?
Yeah.
If you reduce to 5 over 7, which is half, 10, half, 14, equals to 5 over what? Well, 7. Y is equals to 7. Yeah, this is just, I think they made it for it that you do it that way. If not, continue from here. You get 7, dude. 5 times 14, whatever that is, divided by 10, will give you 7. Okay, now how do you do x?
10 over 14
Okay,
equals 7 over x.
that's it. Okay, you got it. But I recommend you reduce again, 5 over 7. But this one, be careful. You got to cross multiply and deal with it. The answer is going to be, 49 divided by 5. You can write as a mixed number if you want. Is that okay? Okay, I think you got this. Sure you don't need to copy this down? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like dad right now probably thinking, hey, why you haven't had much? But the reason is because you understood it. You're listening to me. You know what I mean? You're listening to me and you know how to do it. If you need to, continue on with it. Sure, that's it. The rest, I think you're good. I want to talk about 19 quickly. It's the same thing for 18. You copy this down, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, number 19. You add both sides by 12 and then divide both sides by 17.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay, I think you know the pattern on this one. Same thing with 18. Add both sides by 3/8, then divide both sides by this coefficient. But I recommend you convert that first. Okay, dude. I'll see you